Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. I've had a few viewer questions about the T6i, T6s versus the 70D. Now that the new T6i and T6s are options, people are wondering, is it a better deal to go with the 70D, either used or on some of the good sale prices we've seen? Sometimes it looks like you can get the 70D cheaper than the 6s anyways, and at least the same price as the T6i if you catch the 70D on sale. It's a tough question because a lot of the advancements of the 70D have now shown up in the 6i and the 6s. We've got basically what looks to be the same autofocus system. We have a newer, more advanced processing pipeline and a higher resolution on the new T6i and T6s over the 70D. It's their newer, more advanced sensors, 24 megapixels versus the 20 megapixels on the 70D. Not a big deal, but more resolution, which it's about time Canon stopped using that age-old sensor from the Rebel lineup. So we've got the newer 24 megapixel sensor in the T6i, T6s, and a newer processing pipeline. So we can expect to see higher resolution and hopefully better things like better dynamic range, better color depth, and better high ISO performance out of the T6i and the T6s. Remains to be seen. At lower ISOs, you're probably not going to notice a huge difference. The little bit of extra resolution is always welcome. So where should you be looking at the 70D over the T6i, T6s? What I think it comes down to, from what I'm seeing between the two models, between the 70D on the one side and either the T6i, T6s, that's what, the 750D or the 760D on the other side, is what you're primarily doing with it. If you're more of just a stills guy, if you're just taking photos mostly, you're probably going to see some advantage to the newer sensor and the newer processing pipeline in the T6i, T6s as opposed to 70D. If you're stills and a little bit of video, same thing. I think it's more heavily weighted to the Rebel, the T6i, T6s. But if you're more heavily into movies, there's a pivotal factor here that you need to take into account. The 70D has 685 MB per minute all-eye compression. So that's the encoding rate what the codec will deliver at its highest on the 70D. That's pretty impressive. That translates out here, when we use a bandwidth calculator, to 91.33 Mbps, which is megabits per second. That's very, very good out of the 70D. On the other hand, when we come over to the T6i or the T6s, we are down to 216 MB per minute. That translates down to 28.8 Mbps. It's not bad, but as you can see, it's nowhere near as high as the 70D. It's actually been a downgrade since the T5i, which was, I think, 44 Mbps, megabits per second. So the 70D has a significant advantage in its quality of movie recording ability, of video recording ability. So you might, if you're more heavily into video, I think the 70D is the way to go with. If you're kind of split, well then video to movies, you're gonna have to decide how important the quality of your video is. The T6i, T6s is probably gonna have decent video still, but the 70D is gonna have better. So you got to weigh that, and then go get hands-on with the cameras and see which one you like better. If you're more primarily stills, I would suggest having a serious look at the T6i, T6s over the 70D. Again, go get them in your hands, see which one you like better. So there's my answer there. What do you guys think? Leave some comments below. If you're choosing right now between the 6i, 6s or the 70D, which one would you go with? And let us know your reasons for that. Are you more of a video photographer? Are you kind of split? Or are you more stills? Leave some comments below. Let's have a discussion. The new Rebels, the T6i, the T6s, 750D, 760D versus the 70D. What do you think? Thanks for tuning in, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon with some new videos, some new articles. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on in the world of photography, videography, and technology right here at artoftheimage.com.